Hey everyone, welcome to Lauren DeLaguna. Tonight we have a guest who I am beyond flattered to have. Not only is my guest one of the nicest people on YouTube and creates one of the nicest places to go on YouTube, they went out of their way to promote this show before we even did this interview. Just such a lovely person. Rachel's Ghost. Welcome to Lauren DeLaguna. Thank you for coming here. How is your day going?
Very good. It's very busy. I'm surrounded by boxes, so we're on the move. I am coming to you from Sydney, British Columbia, Canada. And we're on our way about 2 miles north. Sydney, British Columbia is on this thing called Vancouver Island, not to be confused with Vancouver, the city, but it's an island just off the coast of Vancouver, the city. It's called Vancouver Island, moving from Sydney, BC to Nanaimo, BC. They call it the hub city. Doing good, but busy times, as you might imagine.
How come you're moving?
I'm elderly. I'm 65 years young. My dear wife, I'm married to this lovely lady named Sue Williams out there. Feeling the love, she goes. And she got cancer. She got breast cancer. And it caused her to retire early. And Vegas Vagisil Vagisil. It's a fantastic product, by the way, my friend. Don't go short on your Vagisil. But anyway, is this Rudy's mom? Oh my God. Anyway, you're going to get a lot of that. But so Sue got cancer. She's fighting cancer. She's coming through. We hope everything went well, that they cut it out of her, and she had the chemo, she had the radiation, but it necessitated some early retirement on her part. And because of that, semi-retired, as Sue says. And so because of that, we're house rich, but capital strapped, financially poor. So sell the house, move into a double wide mobile home, different city, a little lower price there. And so we're looking forward to it. It's an adventure, a lot of rentals coming in. And I am a record collector. So I've got 1,000 plus records that got to be moved. And they're doing a separate move just for the 1,000 records. So that's the reason why, Lauren, the move is happening.
Well, I'm so sorry for such a devastating cause to your move, and I'm so sorry for all of your wife's troubles. How long have you guys been married?
We got married officially, with the Just the Peace thing in 2002, but we've known each other since 1980, 1980, definitely, because Sue was around when John Lennon got killed, December 8th, 1980. I'm a big Beatles fan. And as my good friend Norman Maslow says, it always comes back to the Beatles. And so when John Lennon died, I knew that Sue at that time. So we were friends even way back when. So I've known her a long time. But we finally got married ourselves in 2002. And we have a son together.
Oh, that's lovely. Do you remember how old you were when you guys met?
Yeah, I would have been, let's see, I'm born in 1958. So I met her in 81. So I'm going to be 23 years old. I'm 65 now. I just turned 60. I just got my first old age pension check.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
The government, when they start giving you money for just being old, it tells you you're on your way out. They aren't giving money just, out of the goodness of their hearts. So there it is. Yeah, we fell in love. It's a love story, but no, she's fantastic, absolutely amazing lady, and so.
Can I ask you a very personal question about because you guys met? You're trans woman, yes?
What? Who? What?
Rachel,
I'm a post-operative transsexual, male to female, full surgery, got the upper construction done. And then down below, indoor plumbing. It's a superior upgrade. Don't let them tell you different, folks. Indoor plumbing, there's nothing quite like it.
But were you guys married?
Yeah, we were married. We were married before, and we had to go through the whole thing and the crisis. And I was suicidal and kind of, I was having kind of a breakdown. I was having a breakdown, and I had a lot of issues, identity issues that have followed me around my whole life. And so this kind of calmed the storm that was surrounding things. And I don't like storms in life. I like everything kind of going, just cruise control, right? But that's the nature of it.
How do you know what it was like for your wife to see your transition?
Yeah, I watched her.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, honey? Sue's here. She's got to answer that. Well, thank you, Vagisil. I sure love you, you sweetheart, you. Vagisil, I can't believe that this guy's endorsing such a fantastic project right here on the program. Anyway, so this is great. We got some of your people, some of my people here. It's a real meeting of minds, real meeting of loins, if you will. My God.
Yeah, I really appreciate, your content. I found it. I was walking my dog one morning and YouTube recommended it. And you were just so lovely right away. And you had so much knowledge about all of your vinyl. And I now know that you don't call it vinyls. You call it
Don't put the S on. Yeah, they'll crucify you.
Rachel's Ghost. And there's so many other things that I would like to learn about vinyl. So, okay, for beginners like me, can you give me the top 5 things you would tell a beginner before they start collecting vinyl? So maybe the first one being it's called vinyl, not vinyls.
No, that would be further down the line because we don't care. You call them whatever the hell you want. In my day, nobody called them vinyls. I come by the interest in it very honestly. Like in the 60s is what we did. Everybody had records. We had records. And if you were a kid, normally you'd have a 45 RPM record. It means the record spins at 45 revolutions per minute. It's a speedy little thing. You drop your needle on the stylus and it crackle crinkles and then it goes through. And I just want to say again, hello to all my regular viewers. A number of them came over, knew that I was going to be here. So what happens is I've got the 45s. I'm collecting 45. So the most important thing to know is the cost, right? You want to count the cost before you go in. And records are increasing in price. So even secondary priced records or used records are going up in price, right? You're looking now, of course, I'm in Canada. Our Canadian dollar gets its ass kicked by the powerful greenback. But so if, like, for example, if you buy a record in the US for $17, you're paying about $26 for the same record up here, right?
Oh, wow.
So consider the cost. The other thing I would tell you right away, my niece just emailed me actually saying, my daughter, Rachel, is getting a record player. What kind of record player should I get? I said, that's a good question because there are these Crosleys out there everywhere. You can see them at Walmart. You can go down to any kind of discount place and they're all over, the drugstore. You see them up on the shelf and you go, oh, that looks cute. Let's get that for Bobby or Jill or whoever your person may be. And so I'm looking at Richard. What is the proper way to clean a record? I'll get to that. So the thing is, you get your record, right? And you want to get a decent record player. The problem with say the Crosley brands or the Victrola brands is that they're really cheaply built and you can't control the downward pressure on the stylus that digs in, because how records work is they've got all these grooves cut into them on a lathe actually when they make them. And when they cut those grooves out, if you have too much downforce as it's going through, it's chipping away bit by bit by bit at that record as it's spinning around. And your record will degrade in its sound quality over time. And much like anything in life, you get more bang for your buck. And it's like guitars. You can see I've got a guitar over here. That's a Fender. And then I've got a Gretsch leaning up here. Everything's in disarray because of the move. But it's like guitars. You can get a $100 guitar. You can you can get a $10,000 custom Gibson custom shop guitar. But the components that go into these things are going to vary in different value, right? And also, what this gentleman, I'm so used to doing my own show. I just clicked on, this is Safe and Sound Texas Audio. This is David. And he says that downward pressure can really wreck a record. as well as side. And so, of course, it jiggles and rides the groove. And that stylus is going left to right, and up and down. Okay, so there's a lot of pressure on that vinyl. And they're tough, but they can degrade in terms of their quality. And the idea is what you want. You want something that sounds good and vibrant and alive and energetic. And so not all records. So the next thing to know, so get a decent record player is what I'm saying. And if you really want to be happy, hit around the 400 USD mark, 400 to 500 bucks, United States dollar, you are going to have a nice record player in your possession, one you can be proud of, one that can give you enjoyment years and years. You can also upgrade them. So you can take the tone arm off them, put a different tone arm in. You can normally what they do, they take the cartridge off, stylus. There's so many customization features you can do for a reasonable price, but it can be a bottom.
Is there any expensive brand that is a ripoff that we should be aware of?
Not so much that it's like anything, diminishing returns the more you put the money in. So it's really hard for you to tell the difference, I would argue, between an $800 turntable and a $1,200 one. I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to kind of tell what the difference is. Some of the features that you're going to get. Lauren, this is going to be the easiest interview ever. My friend Ryan, this is another one of our people. Ryan's a good man. But so get a good, decent record player. It's not so much the high end that you're going to run into trouble with, Lauren. It's really the low end. When you go too cheap, that can be a problem, right?
Can you vamp up a cheap record player and make it nice by
some you can, some you can't. So it varies. So with the Crosleys that I mentioned, you cannot. There's a great turntable called the LP 60. From Audio Technica company, and they're available at Best Buy and Walmart and this sort of thing. They go for about 200 Canadian, about 140 or so, 120 US. But here's the deal. You can't upgrade them with the cartridge and the tone arm and all that. You're kind of stuck. And so I would recommend moving up the next price point and get an LP 120, and then you're going to be all right with that. So that would be the thing. So record player first. Second thing is vinyl. We in the vinyl, we're called the vinyl community. So
hold on. One more question about record players. I've been seeing in hold on, let me let my dog out. He's complaining that.
Sure. Who let the dogs out? It's a big song.
And now he wants out. Okay, you have to stay out now though. Okay. So one more question about record players. So I've seen in Brookstone and other companies, these electronic record players that seem to have these additional features and CD capacity, you're converting music. Is that worth it, or is that just kind of added junk? And then also, I guess 2 more questions. And then also, are vintage record players any better? And seismophone, there's that one with the big horn. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, like a phonograph, gramophone, like his the little dog and the big gramophone thing.
Yeah.
And you crank it around and let it go.
Is that just kind of for the nostalgia of the past, or do those also?
That would be pure nostalgia. Because records come in 3 general formats. There's others that have been experimented with over the years, but you can come in with a 45 RPM, which are the little ones, but sometimes they'll do a 12-inch single, which looks like a full-size record, but it's been mastered at 45, so it's meant to be played at that faster speed. The standard 12-inch record that you get, you get at your Beatles album, right? So I'm all excited. I got myself Beatles. And so you go like this. This is like an LP, long playing record, usually 12 to 14 songs on them. And so this thing's at 33 1/3. So it takes RPM, revolutions per minute. It takes a minute to go around, or 33 1/3 seconds for it to get around one turn. And then after that, you get 78. So the old timey were the 78 RPMs. They were made out of a different material, shellac, very fragile. And if you drop them, you break them, kind of thing.
Oh, if you play a record too fast or too slow, I know that will change the sound. Like it'll make it sound like a chipmunk if it's too fast, or it'll make it sound very low if it's too slow. But does that harm the record at all? Because you were saying earlier about how you could harm the record with a bad record
It
player.
won't hurt. No, you speed it up, slow it down, won't hurt the record at all. And in fact, back in the 70s, we were all looking for signals and messages and records. You could play them backwards. So we're all thinking, oh, let's go to Sergeant Pepper and play the record back. Also, you got some really gifted people here, Lauren, with us. One of them is George Borden. George is an actual record producer. Okay, he's worked with bands like the Tubes and other well-known people. He worked with who's the guy? Jack. His name's escaping me. I just brain fart on TV, but he's a good friend of George's, and he worked with John Lennon, Yoko Ono on Double Fantasy, which is I like the album. It's a very good album, but John Lennon's last. But George here, he goes, nice to see another. George says up above, he goes, it goes around 33.3 times a minute for your record. So that's the speed that the turntable spins at. So they had different things. This is funny. I have good friends here. Josh is one of my people, and his question is kind of funny. He's being cute. That is funny. We have a good friend over in our community called Stunt Rock Confusion. He has a record pressing plant, and he tells us that color, and he's being funny with the vinyls, but colored vinyl, it looks pretty and everything, but you've got to get the recipe right in order the elements that they go to, pigments that go in to make that yellow and blue and red, etc. And it can sound worse than, say, the black color, which is also added in. Vinyl in its kind of pure state is kind of a fleshy, muddy color. And then they even add the black pigment to it, little black chips that go in, and they make what's called a puck. A metal press comes down, flattens it all out. I'm laughing because these kids got a lot of funny comments here.
Yeah.
So CDs, why are CDs so much better sounding than vinyl? There's a million comics out there. I tell you, they're all here tonight for you.
Yeah, why are vinyls? I mean, we discussed it on your show. You discussed it on your show, but why are vinyls better than CDs for people who don't know?
Well, generally it comes down to an issue of, hold on now. I want to take on Man Off Manny voices. Rachel is a reality. A man saying he's a female. I don't call myself a female, you fucktard. Okay? Ooh. So get on whatever turnip truck you picked up on. Get the fuck out of here and go watch some manly wrestling or whatever the hell you want to do, you cocksucker. All right. So anyway, I get this all the time. These fucking morons, they think they're clever. Man Off Manny voices. Listen here, Buttercup. Yeah, go ahead.
What? I mean, you know that you're a good person. You know that you are very.
I don't say that. I would never call myself. No, I would never say, man up. What a bad noise. Listen, but doink. Listen, man up. I don't call myself female. When have I ever called myself female? I mean, grow a fucking pair of balls yourself and put your head brain on, man. Work it. Work your head. You fucktard.
So this must be really difficult to deal with your, ideologies and then trying to appease these like trolls or whatever, but then also dealing with, your gender crisis and.
Oh, well, there is no crisis. The crisis is solved, right? I'm just living my life. I'm not a political activist. You won't catch me with a rainbow flag. That's fine. I don't judge anybody that has the rainbow flag. But it's not my thing, right? I just come in and I just do my deal with music or with my wife. I live my life. I go out, and I tell you what, in all honesty, I don't care about it. It's just my own personal issue, right? And if you want to say it's psychological, or if I'm fucked in the head, or I've got mental problems, I'll own that, okay? But never. And my friends and the people that watch my channel know I never equate myself with being female. All right.
No,
So
I hear
you got
you.
to get straight. That's something you got to get straight.
No, I hear you. I just think it must be very frustrating when all you're trying to do is create content that is actually not even about this. It's your content is about,
Yeah.
records and vinyl, and
Yeah.
it's not about politics. It's not about gender identity. And so people who are trying to troll you over that stuff are really trying to get at you personally. And it's like, but why? Just because you put yourself out there to create
Because
content.
I'm out there. Because I'm out there, and these guys can't get laid. Most of them can't get laid. They're a bunch of incels. They don't know what a woman is, so they've never been fucked. So because they don't know how to work their junk, and it's shriveled up, and they've basically got what I call little nubbinses. And so this kind of character has that, and that's the deal. Yeah, Rachel is going to try and tell that to YouTube. No, it's just on my channel with fucktards like that. I just go, hey, asshole, hello, goodbye, boom,
Right. I hear you. We do like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I didn't warn you. We do like the whole free speech channel.
I'm all free speech, but here's my free speech in return. Fuck you.
I love it. And you're more than welcome to say that. We have people who say the N-word on our show. It's not preferred, especially for algo purposes, but it's allowed because this is a free country, and I feel like there's not enough spaces in which people.
Well, you want free speech. Here's my free speech. You can't have it one way and the other way. Lawyer who's not a lawyer, who may be a lawyer, Lauren, the lawyer.
Well, no, yeah, I want you to be able to express yourself freely as well.
There's my guy right there, Pres Trump. I also love President Trump. Some guy goes, oh, Rachel loves Putin. I don't love Putin. Putin's no friend of ours, but I don't fall into the narrative about the Ukraine war as being they're the good guys and Russia are all evil. Screw that. And God bless America is absolutely right. President 45. And I absolutely, and of course, everybody knows I love Trump on my program, and they just tease the hell out of me for it. But, you put up with it. It's all right.
Yeah, no, I also don't buy into the whole Ukraine. I think it's just another war that's being peddled by big government in order to sell more weapons of war. And
a lot of money is going over there. Billions of dollars are being sent over there. Canadian, I'm in Canada, billions of our dollars are going. Right. I don't see what good it's doing me as a Canadian taxpayer when I'm trying to get around my road in my 15-minute city, with all the road bumps and everything that they aren't trying to fix. But we sure got hella nice bike lanes.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a reason that you haven't moved to America? Because you do seem to like America.
My sister's an American citizen. I'm adopted out is one of the things where some of the identity issues come from. Adoption doesn't cause, are you saying adoption causes transgenders to go? No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm trying to tell you is that the unique psychology that makes me as an individual as a result of many, many factors. I think my father my dad was an RCMP officer. That's the Canadian version of a Fed. Okay. So he's FBI. He's the equivalent of an FBI agent, right? An RCMP guy. Mm-hmm. And so we moved around a lot. I was a new kid coming into town all the time. My dad had blue eyes, and my brother had blue eyes and blonde hair. So I didn't look like anybody in my family. I'm 1/4 Native American. Oh, wow. And so I'm adopted in. And so I never found anybody that looked like me or very unique. And school was not a great experience for me either. I was class clown because it bored me. Everything bored me in the school. And so as a result of that, I got through everything. And then I went and did 7 years of university. I got a bachelor degree, double major history and sociology. Sociology says, I'm basically okay. You people of society is all screwed up. I want to know why it got so screwed up, and I want to figure it out. And so I did 7 years of university, and then Sue and I got together, et cetera. And life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. John Lennon quote. So anyway, so very individualistic. Very idiosyncratic as an individual. You will be thoroughly nauseated. He throws all his friends on their bus. Fuck you again. This guy, here's the thing, you get these idiots in here like this as man. If you're no friend of mine, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you could be any number of idiots that are out there. But the point is, Lauren, the facts speak stronger than you, Manny fucktard, who are so low in life that you have to follow my old sorry ass around into somebody else's live stream. No, it's not Dobbs. Dobbs doesn't mind me too much.
Look, I have my own haters. Here's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, who is making fun of my low numbers. Is the slow chat on, or is the chat just slow? So I have my own haters in here. We have a no restriction policy. Frequently, we have people in here talking about my donkey teeth and asking me if they could donate to give me a hairbrush. So, I got my own haters as well. But I found that if we, what I try to do is I try to just like ignore them or kind of laugh them off. And a lot of the times they'll come around and become fans if you do that. But yeah, these people are really awful. It's pretty crazy to me that we live in a society where, we're kind of desperate for content. And so people are making content and putting themselves out there. And whenever a content creator tries to put themselves out there and make content, they get bashed for just, for just existing. They get really torn apart. I mean, okay, for instance, I do these interviews, right? Obviously. Yeah. And I was really excited to interview some people. And I was so excited that I didn't really thoroughly vet them. And it was, looking back, it was obviously a troll. But at the time, I really believed I was talking to these big YouTube people. And when they came on my show, they masturbated on screen. They did they stuck a hairbrush up their bum. They did all of this nasty, deplorable stuff. They recorded me illegally on a private phone call, and then where I was crying, and then they played that phone call all over it. Like, they went out of their way to hurt me. And it's like, why? Because I make YouTube content and you don't like my YouTube content?
That's crazy.
It's everybody on YouTube, and it doesn't matter who you are or what. They'll figure out what your sore spot is, and then they'll just keep poking it. It.
See, on my program, I have wrenches. I give everybody a wrench, and if any of these charts come in, we blast them, we nuke them, we deep sick them really quick, and then the discussion moves on. It's a lot better. We also got the advice, hey, Rach, just ignore them. John said, Rachel, just stop letting them get to you. You just give them what they want, ignore them. So I'll ignore them from now on. But here's the thing. The only reason I give them any attention at all is I do have that slim hope that there's always that possibility. Come now, let us reason together. But unfortunately, there are some that you can't reason with. And the other issue is that when I started live streaming, it was okay as long as I was sitting at home here. I got a little Rush booklet here, and you're showing your record on your show. Oh, I got Rush, and they're a really good band. And you're talking about your thing, and then you end it. It's not immediate, but the live stream is so fast, so quick, so give and take, that the responses are immediate, and there can be real emotions. What? Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean you're against abortion? That's a woman's right to choose. How can you say such a thing? And so people are really feel strongly about things. But what I didn't anticipate was that there's a certain degree of the population that really do struggle with mental disabilities, like they're emotionally crippled. And as a result of this, they are antisocial. They don't know how to function in society. And, they're the poorer for it. They have no friends. And you just stay the course with your program, Lauren. I don't know how many are watching right now, but when you're how many?
56.
Yeah. When you're all said and done with your program, you lovely lady, you are going to have so many people watching, you won't know what to do with it. Just stay principled, stay the course, you build it, and they'll show up to watch you do your thing. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah, we've had some really big streams. So we do, this is a good stream. We actually have 60 people watching now. I think that you're a great guest. And it really doesn't matter to me how big the audience is. What matters is the conversation and having an open conversation and having an open dialogue and allowing everybody to get a chance to speak. And I feel like the internet, because people can be so mean, it is very tempting to just block people right away. But then I worry about creating that echo chamber, which is so common.
No. I totally disagree. Totally disagree. There is no echo changer. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you because I can tell you a lesson in practicality. I belong to this wonderful, loosely affiliated entity called the Vinyl Community. And right now, if I go, if I was in the States right now, I tell you, I'd be voting Trump. I'd come in for this upcoming 2024. I'd be voting Trump and Humpy. How many of you, George Borden, will you be voting Trump? Chance, will you be voting Trump? These people would go, you're crazy, Rachel. There's no way in a million years we would. And we get some people that are really hardcore Democrats. We get independents. We get them all. But we're able to get together because we know it's about the music. We like and respect one another. It's not about that. But what I don't have time for, no, I owe no free speech to any troll that wants to fuck me over. I say, you go over and you do free speech on your show, but it's not I don't sign any agreement with you where I have to listen to your crap out. You see these Karens on TikTok, which I don't advise anybody having TikTok. The only reason I know about TikTok because I'm on Twitter. Thank God I'm allowed on because I wasn't before. I made the egregious error of retweeting President Trump January 7th or 8th, and boom, they deep sixed me right off that platform. Elon Musk came back, and I was right back on.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Twitter. Yeah. So I'm back because of Elon Musk.
Yeah. Don't you love him? I really like Elon as well. And I think he's doing a great job running Twitter. Gutting 80% of the employees was perfect.
You know what about free speech? Here's something Elon did today. Some guy goes on there and goes, a pedophile. I've created a new minorly attracted person's flag. This happened today on Twitter. And Elon Musk went and deep sixed him, said, not in my house, cupcake, not going to happen. To which I go, thank you, Elon Musk. We don't need that. You can have your free speech and your free little freak flag for minorly attracted persons, falsely so-called. In my day, sound like the old grump, it would be like pedophilia. It's not on. And Elon Musk rightly said, go do your thing over on whatever. Nobody's taking your right to say it or to do it, but you don't have to do it in my yard. You can piss wherever you want, but you don't have to piss in my yard. Go piss in your yard.
Yeah, no, I hear that. That is pretty deplorable stuff. And it's interesting that you mentioned that because this show is actually going to be doing an in-person investigation into an organization that supports maps and supports what they call virtuous pedophiles. So we're really excited to expose that organization. And that's coming sooner rather than later. Yeah. So it is really disgusting that we're in a place right now where it seems like we as a society are heading towards that being normalized. And I think it must be very upsetting as somebody who identifies as trans, dealing with so many people in your community who I'm sure you feel like are part of the problem.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you've got the, this whole campaign, there's a lot of talk about the Bud Light campaign. You've got this individual, and I'm telling you right now, you as a content creator, Lauren, you should not be mentioning the individual's name, but their spokesperson who shall remain nameless, the person with their face on the Bud Light cans, and has now got contracts with Maybelline, MAC makeup, and all these different enterprises. It's a comedy and it's offensive. It should be offensive to a number of women. Not so much the beer can thing. It's just not their thing. A lot of, hey, gals, let's all get together and, rock it, a bunch of, Bud Lights together.
That made no sense.
When it comes to makeup and stuff like that, there's room for a lot of people. Okay, I get it. You can do one, but when you become, quote, the face of the product, that's problematic for me. Problematic for my wife.
Do you think it would have been better if the person who shall remain nameless, if they did like a spritzer campaign as opposed to a beer campaign? Was that what's so weird about it? Is that it's like
Well, it
someone.
seemed disingenuous to me, just on the surface of it. The thing was about Final Four. I'm a Canadian. I'm a post-op, and by the way, their spokesperson hasn't had the full operation. So, if you want to play that argument, I've walked the walk and I've talked the talk more than this individual has. But they're on there doing their commercial and they're going, "Oh, I don't know what this Final Four is or what it, and I'm going, what? You don't know what Final Four? People in Canada know what the Final Four is. March Madness. Everyone knows about it. But people may not know who's in it this year. I get that. But it was kind of a take on like girls don't know sport. We're just girls.
Right.
We don't know what sports are.
Right. And it's like, okay, anyone who's ever been in an office like deals with March Madness. Anyone who's been in like any social circle is going to be dealing with some sort of a sports draft. So you're going to know like some basic tenets of football and basketball. You're going to know about the Final Four. Like,
yeah. See, I mean, it's common sense.
It's as if this person thinks stupidity is equal to femininity. And that's what's offensive about it.
Well, yeah, because it's stereotypical, and if for women that are interested, quote, if you're a feminist as such, I think you would kind of go, well, hold on. There's a lot of women that like sports or into sports and this sort of thing. I would also argue that the whole idea of the women competing against biological males or male to female transsexuals, that they have a biological, physiological advantage. Somebody who knows something about that is Caitlyn Jenner. She was on my Wheatie boxes when I was a kid as Bruce Jenner. And she's come out against it. She recognizes that there are advantages. I'm married to a biological female, XX chromosome, set up. And she's 5'4", 130 pounds soaking wet, and I'm 6'1.5", 280 or so.
Well, speaking of biological females, you were telling me that you have very few female subscribers. So one thing that we definitely want to do is my chats. If you've never heard of Rachel's Ghost, definitely go give them a sub. And especially if you have 2X chromosomes. They definitely want you over there. Everybody over there wants you there. So
yeah, we make light of it. Where it's good spirited stuff. We say, because I know, right? I go, listen, Vinyl Community. I'm going to get a real girl for you on the TV show. We're going to try and get a real girl for you. I go, because half these guys, they've never met a girl. They don't know what girls are like. So anyway, we try to do it for them. But anyway, so that's what happens with the live stream, and but it never really goes that way, because I just block these people like that. And I don't have any issue about it. I don't think it even is an issue of free speech. It's just not my neighborhood. And it's like the old schoolyard. When we were in the schoolyard, half of these punks in the schoolyard, what happened if you come up to some guy, right? And you start mouthing off like that, people just grab you and boom, and it would be over. You still got something to say? And that's how we dealt with things. People get the shit kicked out of them. Hey, where's Mouthy? Oh, Mouthy got the shit kicked out of him. Oh, yeah, who took him out? Oh, Greg just kicked him out his ass, over. Oh, fuck yeah, again. And that behaves, that really solves the problem a lot of times.
Yeah, it doesn't really work as well online. You can't really beat someone's actually that's been a major problem in my community is that, can we get Rachel's channel for me? Henry, do you mind dropping Rachel's link in chat, please?
Yeah.
So that all of the peoples could go over and sub. Yeah, so I lost my train of thought there.
Is Rachel's Ghost a girl or a dude? Press Trump, I am whatever the hell you want to be. I'm a biological male that's had surgical procedures and hormone therapy to take on feminine characteristics, secondary female characteristics, and primary in the case of vagina, which is a surgery procedure that was done around 2008. The years go by, you kind of forget, yeah.
So I look at like people like Amba, like, so she is part of a community that hates me. And after a couple weeks of me doing my content, she made a community post that was like, I don't care if all of my friends hate me. I enjoy watching Lauren DeLaguna's content. And so it was nice that even though this person was a massive hater, they ended up becoming, I don't know if they were a massive hater, but even though this person who was from a community that was full of haters, they ended up becoming a supporter. And so I find that a lot of my haters end up turning around if you give them time, especially if you're patient with them. But yeah, no, it's really frustrating dealing with trolls. Oh, that's okay.
So what do you want to call it? What do you want to label me, Trump? Mr. President, President 45. Wait, that didn't answer the question. It's up to you. Here's the deal. I want to tell you something too. I'll play devil's advocate for the other side. Is what happens is that a lot of the orientation, a lot of the outrage, a lot of the moralizing over the whole issue of transgender. I know some trans women, okay, that you would never in a million years know. They're like 5'4", they're 5'5", they're willowy, they're little things, they're bosomy, they're totally, you would never know in a million years. And it only becomes an issue when our society orientates and goes, wait, what? That's a guy? Holy shit. That's the only time it really becomes an issue. Also, the whole thing about the bathroom thing, there are some female to males that look so masculine, their physicality, that if I was a biological female, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable with some of these guys being in the washroom with me that way. You know, beards, full beards, bald-headed, muscle tattooed guys with voices, you know, deeper than my own.
Yeah, it's an extremely complex issue. And you're in an interesting spot, similar to Caitlyn Jenner, who is also transgender, but also is conservative. Interesting spot to be in. And no, I understand, but it's not even what your content about. Your content is about music, and you're so skilled in music, and you're so knowledgeable about music. And like, let's just stay on that. Can you tell me about your first vinyl record purchase, and then can you tell me about your favorite vinyl record purchase?
Yeah, sure. So going back to music, which is what we're supposed to be doing, but you know, I get lit up like a Roman candle.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No,
I should have warned you about my comment.
You didn't do anything. You did nothing wrong. You're fantastic. Listen, my first record is 1971. See, I had kiddie records, right? I had Snoopy and the Red Baron, and I had a whole bunch of that stuff. Kiddie records, Johnny Quest, which is an old 60s cartoon, 1965 comes out. Fantastic, by the way, Hanna-Barbera, Alex Toth, great. There's great history behind it. But anyway, you've got Johnny Quest coming 20,000 leagues, some kiddie records. My first adult record is a 45 because it's 1971. And I picked up, I Started a Joke by the Bee Gees, which was a 45 single, but at the same time, Paul McCartney and Wings had come out of the gate. Paul McCartney with the Ram album with the single Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey, which my younger brother picked up. And so that was the first thing, 45. And then 1973, I ran across a thing called the Beatles' Greatest Hits Red album. It had a companion. It goes from 62, 66. From 66, 70 was a Blue album. These were compilations of Beatles' greatest hits. Heard that over at a friend's place. Puberty's hitting. I'm 13 years old. I'm starting to put away my little dinky toys and my G.I. Joe and stuff. And I'm starting to mature. And I'm starting to get into girls and music. And some of the kids may even bring a beer over. So by the time I'm 16, you know, I'm having my first drink. Marijuana comes in the equation. So I'm listening to Black Sabbath, you know, Paranoid and smoking and tuning out, you know, on that stuff, which I still like. Not the smoking because I'm allergic to it, but Black Sabbath I still collect. I like the band. And Beatles, if you cut me deep enough, I bleed Beatles. But because of the vinyl community, I'm exposed to all sorts of stuff. So I've got I laugh. I have a good friend named Rob the Wax, one of our characters over there. And he's a jazz guy, right? He's got all this jazz record. He's not just jazz, but he's got a lot of jazz. Yeah, War Pigs off of Paranoid. Anyway.
Well, That is awesome. That is a great collection. I love the Beatles. I love Black Sabbath. Nasty Nathaniel is a huge music fan. He's also a great person to have as a sub. So hopefully he went over and subbed you. I'm sure he did. He says, my first album as a kid was Culture Club's Color by Numbers album. My mom took me to the store to get it. Do you remember that album?
I've got it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
How would you rate that album?
How do I rate it? It was a great album. Boy George comes on the scene. It's coming out of what's called the New Romantics. So this is an English music scene that's happening. Duran Duran is kind of part of that. Boy George is in there. A number of different bands. And the idea was clothing, the fashion, a little gender play going with it. It's kind of out of the UK clubs. And so what happens is Boy George makes it big because of the gender play. Everybody's going, is that a boy or girl? What the hell is that? All the makeup and stuff. Karma Chameleon. And then, of course, MTV is coming out. And because MTV was so big, Boy George really got pushed to the fore on that because, you know, all red, gold, and green, red, gold, and green. And so Boy George became a phenomenon for a short time, until excesses, drugs, and this sort of thing took them out. And of course, we're a fickle society. As one fad turns over to another. Adamant, you could throw Adamant in there as well. Kind of a glammed up thing. These are in the 70s, they had the glam movement with David Bowie and T-Rex, etc., Mark Bolan.
Well, Kurt says, Lauren, check out Rachel's shorts. Sue, her wife, puts them together and they are really good. So what are your shorts about?
Well, they're little art creators thing. Also, Southern Belle is needing something. I said please twice. What does she want?
Oh, she wants to click thumbs like up.
Yeah, hang on. I'll hit. I've already done it. I've already hit that. So YouTube came up with their algorithm. One of the things I like to help people with their channels and let them grow their channels. So what happens is, they came up with the YouTube short thing, and the algorithm was pushed towards it. So they want you, Lauren, and myself as content creators to get in this because they want to compete with TikTok. They want to create some of the other things. Henry, thank you so much for a link. This is my channel. And then what happened is I thought, okay, what can I do that would be a little different than anybody else in the quote, the vinyl community is doing? So I grabbed one of those little display turntables, bought some multicolored lights, and then started arranging albums. And I collect CDs and albums, both. Don't be a format snob. And then I have a large collection. There's a whole lot of different kind of music I feature and show. And it's taken off. And it's helping me get about 10 new subscribers daily. I pick up about 10 a day. I expect I'll pick a couple more up from you, the ones that, don't absolutely hate me on sight from this. But it's okay. It's a big world out there. I'm not asking anybody to like me. But my philosophy is Bob Dylan, where he said, I don't want to bug nobody, but I don't want to be bugged, right? And I do disagree with you on the free speech element, just because I say, man, it doesn't have to be in my house. That's free speech.
I hear you. I was going to say, people are just crazy, and there are crazy trolls out there. My friend is a journalist, and he feels the same way as you. He's like, I have free speech on my channel, but I still block spam, and trolls are just spam. So it's getting rid of the spam so free speech can flow. And I understand that idea, but for me, I don't know. The spammers get tired.
You'll work it out. There's the sound to noise ratio too. The sound to noise ratio. Also, there is, one of the realities I get people too, because we talk politics on my program, and because we're mostly a community record listening or a music discussing channel, people go, Rachel, I'm out. No more politics. I can't stand this. I'm out of here. Let me know when you're done talking politics. I'll come back. And so I get that, I totally understand, but I like the energy of it, and I like the integrity of it. Go ahead, Lauren.
Do you like talking politics? Because you're more than welcome to talk politics here. We love to talk politics. We are very political over here. So is that something that you enjoy doing, but is not really right for your channel? Or
I care. You know, my problem is I really do care. And then everything in this crazy world of ours, like I like the my people on my side of the aisle. We see the mainstream media as the enemy of the people. The President Trump calls the guy is brilliant. People don't get this. Like when he brought up the whole idea of fake news, now we know what fake news is. Now we know what it is. And the more we hang on, because I've had to, you know, the slings and arrows, we all have it. We take slings, arrows, criticism just for liking the guy. How can you like that Trump guy? You know, and all the rest of it. But we, you know, old timey people and a lot of young people too, you know, care about the country. And when you, and I, in another life, I used to be big into World War II aviation and history. I've got ancestors who fought in the American Civil War, and I have ancestors who fought for the American War of Independence. I fought representing states of Ohio and Iowa and Pennsylvania in the U.S. Civil War. So I have a great respect for our military, those old values, right? And the flag. And when you understand, when you watch some of these old Civil War things, and you see somebody carrying the flag, because in the smoke of battle, the flag was really important. There's so much gunpowder, you know, smoke is everywhere. You can't see anything. Field commanders would look for the flag to orientate themselves for knowing where the battle line were. And when the flag bearer got shot, somebody would quickly replace it because confusion could come in the ranks if the flag goes down. And you see these people carrying the flag of the United States of America, and people are dying carrying that flag, and other people in the battle. One of the battles, I forget which one. I watched the Civil War Trust. I watch a lot of that. And in this one battle, they went through 6 flag bearers as they're grabbing for the flag, each of them falling to their death, dropping their gun to hold on to the flag to carry it forward into battle. It's unbelievable heroism and patriotism. And America, I think America is the greatest nation on the planet. I love Canada, but listen, we were legislated into existence. America fought its way into existence, you know? And it's not all rosy either.
Can you sing the Canadian national anthem? Because I've spoken to several Canadians now who do not know the Canadian national anthem.
I can do one version of it. They keep changing the words.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, they change the words to make them more inclusive.
Okay. Like
Rolls-Royce Merlin, the Allison 1710. Obviously, I'm going to go with the Rolls-Royce Merlin. They measured the Rolls-Royce, gave it more performance advantage at higher altitude. So when they married it to the P-51 body, then it was able to do the long-range escort, plus the best short-range fighter, defensive fighter, World War II, Supermarine Spitfire, Spit 9C is my favorite variant of that. Twin Hispano 20-millimeter cannons and 250 cal. So that would be it. But so what was the question, Lauren? Sorry, I got distracted by aviation there.
Oh, I asked you about if you could sing the entire Canadian.
Oh, yeah, you want, okay. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy son's command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, I stand on guard. That's we, but I'm putting me. For thee, oh Canada, I stand on guard for thee. And then right cheers.
That was beautiful. I only asked
if you can see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was impressive. I couldn't do another country's national anthem. That was impressive. Y'all, that was so impressive. Could you do two national anthems? Anyone? Put a 1 in chat if you could do 2 national anthems by heart. I sure as heck could not.
You gotta put it. But you know, it's a lot of sport. You watch the sport, Super Bowl, and we grew up watching hockey. And Canada's hockey, and so at hockey games, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true. I guess.
But yeah, I love the United States. But my sister's in Colorado. She's in Aspen. She's an American citizen there. My grandfather was born in Spokane. So, you know, there's a lot of give and take across the border. So I have a lot of history on both sides. That awesome. Was terrible. I like this. But better than Fancy Pants. Could you? Thanks, Bad. Hey, Alice Cup guy, Wade from North Carolina.
That was fabulous, according to Nasty Nathaniel, who is one of my favorite subs. You have to sub her. You have to sub Rachel's Ghost, Nasty Nathaniel, because you're one of my favorite subs. So it wouldn't be fair to
you. Real Britannia. Hey, Blake, this is my good buddy, Blake. Blake's a guy I know in real life. And I think he could do, Blake loves the United States like I do. He loves ghost towns. So his trip is he goes into old ghost towns, abandoned ghost towns. He's actually... I would argue an expert in the field, very knowledgeable guy. It was super nice.
Cool. Where did you get the name Rachel's Ghost?
I picked up, well, the channel got taken down before. It was through a number of things. We had kind of agents of aggression. People don't like me, want to get it down. So they report the channel. I'm a very laid back person, right? And I like having a laugh. And a lot of what my show is about entertainment, trying to make people laugh. Have a good time, right? We don't have to work too hard at it either because things happen. But what happened was we had this guy for Star Rock Confusion. He's a really good guy. He has a record plant. I mentioned earlier in our discussion, Lauren. And he'd come up and he'd do things like bukkake, you know, and so he'd draw penises and he'd have sperm flying all over everything. Okay. And it's comedy. He's a French guy, and he likes these adult comics. And you know, in the French sensibility, it's different than what we're used to over here. So that kind of thing would be happening, and people would report the pictures, and they'd send them into YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and like, what's going on, Rachel's show? And so eventually got taken down. The original name of my channel was Rachel or the Music Ma'am. I just called myself the Music Ma'am. Now that title I got because there was this trans person goes into a GameStop and the guy gets, or the lady, excuse me, gets misgendered and goes, "You will call me ma'am," and then kind of freaks out and is kicking little Funko Pops all over and the whole place is falling apart. And it was just kind of an aside to joke at me because I go on, "I'm Rachel. This is really my legal name. I'm Rachel Williams." And then ma'am, M-A-M-A-M, Prez. "You will call me ma'am." So anyway, I thought, you know, I call myself the Music Ma'am as a play on words of the Music Man, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, when the old channel went down because it got pulled down for sexual stuff, right? Because we had one guy came in, they were just an avatar in the peanut gallery. I call it peanut gallery, the chat. And I bring it up because I couldn't see what was going on. It's, you know, you see these little things. Like, look at Amba. Like, what's Amba's avatar? I don't know. It's small, right?
It's like a skull.
It's an alien. It's an alien giving you the. It's an alien going, "Fuck you."
Going like, yeah.
It's an alien giving the bird. So then, yeah, that's the one. President Trump. Love President Trump. Anyway, so I thought that video was funny, right? And thank you, Witchy Bitchy. I love Witchy Bitchy. You're wonderful. Thank you for the stuff. It is appreciated. So then what happens, like this, I go on every day at 6 a.m. in the morning to 9 a.m. Okay, it's a 3-hour-ish thing. Occasionally I'll do something in the afternoon. I'm trying to get going on Rumble because, you know, YouTube cannot put up with me much longer. They just demonetized me.
Oh,
Neon Alien, give it the bird. I love him too, Rach. Okay,
so you got monetization and then you lost it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, so anyway, so then
Oh,
so the channel went down. It had 1,000 people. This guy over in Germany, and Michael 45 audiophile, super good guy. He gives me a shout out. He's got 40,000 people following him, sort of thing. I got 800 subs in like a 24-hour period. It just blew up.
oh wow.
I'm now up to 3,000 something. It's almost 4,000 subs now. Anyway,
Wow.
so I came back and said, well, I'm getting tired of the one trick pony joke of the Rachel. Everybody knows I'm tranny. The reason I put it out there is I am trans. I didn't want to freak people out, kind of going, Rachel, where are you? Are you a guy or girl? What the hell are you? And so I just wanted to, come out as a way, as a funny tongue-in-cheek way, poking fun at myself, good-naturedly, and then moving on with the show. So, but then when I got the channel taken away, I recreated it as Rachel's Ghost. Right, I'm a ghost now. I'm dead, but I'm back. So here I am again, and I created this thing called Rachel's Ghost. So
That's funny.
to go to the Rumble account. Yeah, President Trump. There, when you talk about Lawrence talking about free speech, you can do more. There's less fear of repercussions. There are some. There are boundaries, but they aren't too bad. We're all adults, okay? For one thing. And it's like 8 o'clock here on Pacific time. So, it's 8, 10, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. No 13-year-old should be up at 11 o'clock. Get to bed. So it's an
Unless
adult.
they're having Ryan Waters.
Yeah, I treat my show like it's an 18 and over. I don't want kids in there. We talk about adult stuff because it's funnier that way.
Yeah, no, it's funny that, yeah, I agree with you. We had a guest on our program once, and we were interviewing him at like midnight, maybe 1 a.m. his time, when all of the sudden a body falls on him out of nowhere. Like
Okay.
it appears to be either a deceased person or a drugged out person or a sex doll or something falls on top of him. And his excuse is, oh, it was a little girl running to give me a hug. Okay, multiple issues with this. One, why would a little girl be running to give you a hug at 1 a.m.? And two, like, why is she in your room? And then why are you like stiff arming her and why are her eyes closed? And why does she appear dead? So it's just funny that you mentioned that, because that's.
Well, I mean, it's nuts out there. Like this TikTok
Yeah,
goes down. The only time I see TikTok is on Twitter, because somebody brings it over Twitter. I'm also on Truth Social. You can find me. I'm Rachel's Ghost VC on Truth Social, and on Twitter I'm Rachel's Ghost. Now, a kid I like that's on the left traditionally, like he would self-identify as on the left, Sean Ono Lennon, the son of John Lennon, Yoko Ono. This kid is a bright spark, and he wants to be fair, and frequently he will criticize things from his own side, and it's really nuanced stuff. We need more nuance, less knee-jerking on both the political right and the political left. Let's not fetish things out, and by fetish, I mean where we become so myopic, so centered on something that we lose the key to the plot. So we're all freaked out about or outraged about one thing over another. Pick our battles. Let's pick our battles and be wise in how we go about it, because everybody's waiting to rip you apart. That's not true. I checked the facts on that. And Snopes told me you're full of shit. Oh, okay.
It's just so crazy how everybody is like. Not everybody. It just seems with online culture, people have a desire to harm one another or to like trigger one another, make them feel bad about it. Would you like to see the body falling or no?
Well, I'm not into it, but if anybody else wants to see a body falling, it's up to your audience, whatever they want.
No, it's fine. You don't have to see it. We don't have to see it. It's fine. It's kind of funny, but if you don't want to see it, that's fine.
Well, I'm more interested in hanging out and talking to you right now, because I don't get you often to talk this way. And so it's my great privilege. You asked earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
You do panels though, yeah?
Oh, like, yeah, I bring people up. It's fun that way.
Yeah, and who are people that you collaborate with often?
Well, I mean, you call it collaborate. It's just, it's open. The way I work my show, as long as you're not like even the Nimrods, I've had some of them, like the idiot before that was going, you're a man and all this shit. All right, buddy. If that's all you got to say to me, where's the dialogue? Where do we go from there? I guess nowhere. You're just being a dink.
Yeah.
And I got nothing to add to it. But the thing is like I like it open. So even if you don't have a channel, I want you to come up and talk to me. What's going on? What are you finding interesting? What do you got to share? Because I get bored just talking about records all the time. I'm interested in many things. Like World War II, aviation question was, what do you prefer, Messerschmitt or Fokker? Well, what Fokker are you talking about? Fokker DR1 or DR3 or D6 from World War I or a Messerschmitt from World War II? Because they're different technologies, right? At different times. Focke-Wulf 190 versus the ME 109. I prefer the Focke-Wulf 190. It's a radial engine versus the inline engine that the measurements presented. Favorite piece of American iron is the F6F Hellcat, successor to the F4F Wildcat. They call it a zero killer. It was designed because the zero crash on Aleutian Island chain. So they grabbed this Japanese Zero that had crashed intact, and they reversed engineered it and built the Hellcat out of it, designed specifically to kill Japanese Zero, which is an amazing aircraft. Amba, I love tugging at your heartstrings.
That's awesome that you know so much about history and about warplanes, and I feel like I should definitely know more about warplanes, considering I was taught about it one time a long time ago. I was briefly in the Air Force, but I could not tell you anything. Like, you seem very how did you learn all of that information?
I used to have the world's largest book review site for World War II aviation. So I read everything. And eventually, by the time I finished, I had the Naval Institute Press and Grub publication, Grub Street Publications, and other high profile aviation publishers send their books to me. And so I read them all and reviewed them. And so you can look at the old, I guess it's the way back, the Internet Archive, and you can see the reviews and that sort of thing. Then I worked for, I dug history. I worked for Blake. Well, we were friends. I met Blake in church. I'm also, here's more to offend everybody if I haven't done it enough already. Also self-identify as a Christian, evangelical type. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I believe he's God manifest in the flesh. I believe he was crucified, buried, resurrected, rose on third day, and that God is love and he loves us, and we will be judged according to the works in the flesh, and that we will all give account of ourselves, and thank God for the blood of Jesus. Without it, I would be absolutely irrevocably lost. And I'll talk religion with anybody too. I've done a lot that way, and I've read the Bible 4 times. I just bought a Bible. I hadn't had one in a number of years, and I just picked up. I like the King James version of the Bible. I like the language in it. And so
how long have you been religious?
A lifetime. In grade 1, I used to sit in class and I hypothesized, what would it be like if there was no God? So if there's no God, let's put God in a box. And so I just be saying, because school always bored me. And so I'm sitting there and I'm picturing a cube, right? A rectangular cube. And I put God in the cube. And then I said, so if God's there in the cube, what's outside of God? Like, what's outside of nothing? Because there's nothing. So what would be outside of nothing? And then, of course, one of the Buddhist teachings, the path to enlightenment is that you get that sense of being part of nothing, being one with nothing. And so the thing is that with that hypothesis, it presupposed that there was a God. What would it be like? Because the question was, what would it be like without a God? Then I used to go to what we call the Dominion Astrophysical Observatory, and I go to the scientists there. I said, where does hydrogen come from? Because it's H1 on Mendeleev's chart, the periodical table of the elements. Where does hydrogen come from? The scientists said, we don't know. It appears to come out of nothing. And in all the years, in 2023, they really can't answer that even at this time.
Well,
question from Concert Buddy, good question.
Yeah. I'll get to that, but that's kind of like what made you start your channel?
I started 3 years ago because of a guy named Norman Maslov, who's fantastic. He's a guy that's got real history with music. He's born and raised in San Francisco. He's seen practically everybody. Has amazing stories. He was at the concert where they filmed The Last Waltz. He saw the Sex Pistols at their last concert. He's extremely knowledgeable. He knows a lot of people. And he's a real liberal, by the way, hardcore Democrat liberal, cannot stand my beloved President Trump. But I love Mazzy. I don't care. And you know what's really weird, Lauren? I'm really big time into genealogy. That's another one of my interests. And I found out that my mom, my biological mom, I found my bio mom, and she is related to Mazzy distantly. They actually show up as DNA matches. So this guy who influenced me to start my channel, he's actually a distant cousin to me. I haven't found out exactly how we tie in, but it's a true story. He's my cousin. So, and I love him. I really love the guy.
We do have another key question for you from one of our favorites, Nasty Nathaniel. He wants to know what your opinion on Kiss's music is.
Okay, so there's Lauren. Can you ask her what she thinks of Kiss? Kiss, I come home. It's 1974. I'm at a party. So 1974, God, how old am I? I'm 15 years old. 15, I'm coming home from a party, and I'm a little high. I've been smoking. And there on my TV is Kiss on the Midnight Special. It was either Midnight Special or in concert. Not question, it's in concert. And so it's on TV, but I'm a little high. And Gene Simmons, Blowing the Flame, Ace Frehley, my favorite member of Kiss. And they were fantastic, but it was more the visuals. My buddy bought their first album, and I went, what the hell? Well, who are these guys with the makeup on and all this, right? Kiss debut album. And then the second one, first I bought was Dress Kiss to Kill. And then I followed that up with Kiss Hotter Than Hell. So those are my two go-to Kiss albums, and I've reacquired all this. I'm one of these people. Through my Christianity, I did a purge of my collection, and then I purged it. When I became a Christian, I purged it, and then I got rid. That just means to get rid of it. Torsia gave it away. I gave it away to all my friends. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. And then when the CD revolution came on in the late '80s, I got rid of my records. I go, oh, CDs are supposed to be better. They don't crackle or pop. I'll get all CDs.
Oh no. Oh my gosh, was that actually like the mindset at the time when CDs first came out? Was like, ooh, these are so much better than vinyl.
Well, yeah, because if on a superficial listen, you go, there's no crackle. Did you hear a crackle? No, it didn't. When you put the stylus down the record, a little crackly and this sort of thing. So
Amber thinks you're too cute. You are too cute.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to have some merch, everybody, by the way. I want to do with the Conway, and I want it to be Me Have Sex Change. That'll be my first little merch. You can have a shirt. It'll all be done up cute and everything. It'll be fantastic.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you're taking this stride, because it's not fun to deal with trolls, but you take it like a champ. And
Lulu, I know I don't have my wanker. I got a vagina. It's fantastic. And Lulu, I went to my gynecologist. Yeah, I got one. And he was going, this is amazing. I said, Rachel, I want you to know that the surgeon who performed this procedure on you is extremely, extremely skilled. I've even got a little cleto. Okay, you know what the cleto is? Do I have to explain that for you?
I don't know.
Yeah. You never kissed a girl? I didn't think so. Yeah.
Well, you know how incels be. But I found your description of pondering God really interesting. Did you ever study philosophy and look at how
academically? Yeah, because I did a sociology degree. So I took a couple of years of university course, undergraduate course on philosophy of science. But I've always been more pragmatic. The idea of argument I've sat with people and I've had discussions with different people, and I go, my God, we're getting nowhere with this. I like when there's practical outcomes for something. So what am I going to do? Like, it's like life on other planets or the flat. I noticed you had some flat Earth guy on or something. Yeah. I go, so how is that making you a better person? How is that making you interact with your fellow human? Are you doing any better as a result of it? That's where I want to see it. I want to see pragmatic, practical outcomes of belief.
Well, the flat Earth person does. The person that I interviewed about flat Earth believes that once enough people are informed, they will be able to take over these extra resources which lay outside of this Arctic circle. So obviously that's not my belief, but he genuinely believes that he is helping the greater good in some capacity.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, I mean, on some idea, I mean, there's truthers and this sort of thing. Antarctica. I was watching this one. The other one that's kind of funny right now is somebody got Henry Kissinger's wife to go, look at Henry Kissinger's wife. Is that a guy? This is on Twitter right now. I mean, you know, you can watch this stuff. It's out there. It's funny for a giggle, but oh my God. Or Michelle Obama, Big Mike. Oh my God, the stuff that goes on.
Yeah. Do you think what do you think about Michelle Obama? Do you think, and that Mike rumor, what's your opinion on that?
What do I think about Michelle Obama?
I'll tell you all you need to know. That Michael rumor.
Oh, I don't think it's just funny to me. It's just a comedy. It's not important to me. Who cares if he's sleeping with or whatever he is? That's his business. All the rest of it, right? What I care about, though, is the fact that Michelle Obama is there hugging George Bush. Those pictures are all you need to know about neocons and Democrats. It's the same bird, folks, and they love each other and they cuddle each other. Liz Cheney, are you kidding me? Those are the good Republicans, Rachel. You know, give me a break. You know, no way, man. Mary Stark working overtime. Yeah, Marius has got a lot of stuff, but I don't care about Marius. I don't have an issue really with Marius. Marius is more angry. Listen, I do comedy, so I don't care, right?
Yeah.
She here with the man and Michelle, Old Life as a Man.
Yeah. So what instruments can you play?
I play guitar. That's about I can muddle with the bass a little bit. You know, I only know 3 chords. I know a whole bunch of chords. But, you know, how do you put them together, right? But, yeah, I play guitar. It's therapeutic. I like it. It's fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And
fancy pants. Look at Lulu. Listen, Lulu. That's a cute dog, by the way, Lulu. Is that a dog that I'm looking at, Lulu? We are not alone. Yeah, you know, but I say, you know, as a Christian, I go, if there's life on other planets, I'm sure that he must know. It's been there once already and has died to save their souls. Famous Larry Norman, Christian artist coming out of LA. Great stuff, Christian music.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to buy a present for a friend involving vinyl, and this friend like wanted to get into vinyl, what would you recommend the person buy for the friend in terms like which specific model of record player? And then also, which like 3 or 4 albums would you get for your friend for their first album?
Well, yeah, I mean, depending on income, you know, there's other people. Patrick, if Vinyl Archivist is still here, he's far more suited to answering that question than I would be. But you know, I mean, I got a Rega, a P1. They go P1, P2, but by the time you get in a P2 in Canada, you're paying about $1,200 for one, right?
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of a lot of people don't want to be. If you're just trying to feel it out, I would go for like the one you showed that you linked to, the 120 Technica is fine. You can get those for about $250 or so, US dollar.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, so I would get that, and then I would let them get excited about planar one, and now you got that's kind of the P1. And that's a British-made turntable. And then the other one, Project Terminals, Projekt, I think it is, Project. God, I forget the name of the line because I don't own one myself. But basically, the company is a good company. They're called Project. But Audio Technica do a number of great turntables.
That's awesome. And what album?
Well, then it becomes a personal preference. So it would be, I would talk to the person if it's the niece or nephew. If I'm trying to get somebody just into music generally, I would have to be based on their age group. I think that would be a big part of it, because for me as a kid coming my own journey with it is me and my pals hanging around. We're in the car. We got 8 tracks. We're cramming those in there. Music's wherever we go. We all go playing, trying to play guitar and hanging out and talking about music, going to concerts. So I've seen David Bowie and I've seen Bob Dylan, I've seen Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton. Yes, a progressive rock band. I like them a lot. I saw Madonna at the height of her thing. I saw U2 in 1987. So I've seen a lot of bands, right? Not as much as many of my friends in the vinyl community. They can kick my ass when it comes to see. I've seen Rod Stewart, I've seen Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, big album. So there's so many albums and bands and music, country music, rap, disco, funk. A lot of people like funk, jazz, blues, 12-bar rhythm blues stuff, right?
Okay, let's say for whatever reason you couldn't take all of your records with you and you could only choose 3 of your records to bring with you on your move. The rest you have to give away. What 3 records would you take with you?
I got a little 45 7-inch that my biological father cut in 1964 called BC My Home, about our home province. So that, for sentimental reasons, obviously, that would have to come with me. Number 2, I take the Magic Christian. This is an album I bought. It's one of the very first 12-inch full 33 1/3 albums I got. And then my favorite band of all time is Beatles, as I've mentioned, and it would have to be some Beatles, right?
Yeah.
Lulu says, Lauren, please get some people that aren't freaks of nature. Well, I'm not a freak of nature. I'm a freak of science, more accurately, dipshit. God, these are idiots out here. What's your IQ at, knuckle dragger? Holy fuck.
Yeah,
I used to work at the hospital. They come in with vacuum cleaners tied to their private parts. Anyway, yeah, fantastic movie. The soundtrack to that by the group called Badfinger was fantastic.
Yeah, that looks like a great album, and it looks like fun to look at. Like when I asked you that question about why you prefer vinyl to CDs, and you talked about, opening the vinyl and looking at it and seeing.
Well, when we were kids, right? Yeah, I mean, you got these albums when you're a kid. I'll grab one here. Hang on. So this is Rush double album. So you get one of these things in your hands. You go, ooh, look at how big that is. It's so big. And then you could open the thing up, and then you got the gatefold inside, and you go, holy crap, that looks amazing. Remember when we're young people, you've got all the time in the world, you don't have a lot on your mind, and so you just go, oh, look at that kit, or whatever the instrument would be, and so you could do the thing all day long. Fantastic. So beautiful, gigantic stuff, and the lyrics and everything were so big, and you can play with you're smoking dope, you get the Beatles, like say you got your Magical Mystery Tour here, you see these clouds on so you shake those around, and then because they're all pixelated, they'll bounce and dance around. So if you get a little high, I'm not encouraging this, but if you get a little high, kids, you can make that dance. So there's all this sort of stuff, right? Extras, posters, all that, but you're a kid, and so you'd have the chance to really focus on stuff. But the bottom line generally is that the compression that they use for CDs squishes and truncates the music on it, so it's not as expansive and therefore not as engaging. So when you get a really good system, and for me, the turnaround was sitting at my boss's place, it would have been 1982. And he had a top-end, multi-thousands of dollar record system. He gave me a glass of wine. He says, sit down. What do you want to hear? I said, I want to hear Abbey Road by the Beatles, right? Big, luscious, produced album. Set the template for production throughout the 70s and into the 80s. That album was amazing. And so the Beatles in 1969, Abbey Road, they go to work on that. And I'm sitting there with these beautiful speakers. He goes through, I've got the wine, the mood, the wooden flooring. It was just heaven. And he played this thing, and the beauty of that music and the richness of the sound was unmatched. And so then I understood, oh, this is why it's worthwhile putting some money into a really good stereo system.
Yeah, no, I get that. I can't wait until I have, a place to set up and get some
Yeah.
good, comfortable music and a place to chill. Well, this
Yeah.
has been great.
You find out what you like, Lauren. Like, who's your favorite band? Who are your 5 favorite musicians that you like?
Oh, that's tough. My taste in music is somewhat trash. Um, I do like if I'm thinking about music that I think is universally good that I listen to. There's like rock from the 70s, like Rolling Stones, Beatles, The Doors, The Clash, stuff like that. That's universally good. But then when I'm thinking about like the trashy stuff, let me see. Trashy people that I listen to. Um
It's a funny way of putting it. The thing is, you shouldn't be worried about it. Also, Homer's right. There's a difference between
City
freedom of speech
Girls,
and shit rolling. Absolutely. Holy smokes.
City Girls, Megan the Stallion, Rico Nasty, Lizzo, Likely 47, Saweetie, Runny Rucci, Ratchet Women. I love it.
I like
But
what David says down here is fantastic. David is the vinyl salute. He goes, all that matters is buying what you want, Lauren. Get what you like, and who cares if it's trashy? If you like it, it's not trash at that very moment. It's the music that you like, and it doesn't matter. And if it's all about the bass, this is my good buddy Rob the Wax, very knowledgeable guy. He downplays it, but he's very knowledgeable as well.
yeah,
And Pat goes, that is trash.
yeah, that is pure trash. So I like to listen to pure trash sometimes. And then hold on, let me get the other. We have a better. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, Rolling Stones, Humble Pie, Jackson 5, Beatles, Buddy Guy, Bill Withers, Van Halen, Temptations, Elvis Costello, Pearl Jam, Jimi Hendrix, Peter Frampton, Willie Nelson. Like that's when I'm like, okay, I could put this on. All going to be good music. It's all going to be good songs. Everybody could enjoy it. We're all going to like listen to my grandparents, my parents, my younger sibling. We're all going to listen to it and get along instead of my trash ratchet music. It's that city.
Most of those bands you mentioned and artists, they're in my own record collection. But there's some people that I know in this vinyl community of ours where they've got thousands of records, and I've got 8,000 and change, right?
Right. Yeah. Have you heard? So you heard all of the people on one list, but you hadn't heard any of the people on the other list.
Yeah, younger artists, like I know Taylor Swift and Meghan Trainor, and a couple, but I'm not interested. It's not my groove. It's not where I'm going to be putting my money into. Right. My niece loves, the cowboy guy. That's Keith Urban. She loves Keith Urban, the Australian cowboy singer. Country, and it's not my cup of tea, but I got one Keith Urban greatest hits album for her that I have. I got your guy in my collection. Pearl Jam. Yeah, I knew we could be friends when you said Pearl Jam says jazz.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I listen to all the greats, but then I also totally cloud and then so another, I have many trash albums and only one really great album. Ooh, I've really been into Tierra Whack recently. That's been an artist that I've been loving. No, but I got my country music too, like Eric Paisley, Sam Hunt, Tim McGraw, Thomas Rhett, Zach Brown Band, Frankie Ballard, Florida Georgia Line, Eric Church. I mean, I like all of them. So yeah, I have like a wide eclectic, and then I also like the I'm really into like the 2000s music. It's really nasty, like Nelly, Fergie, Gwen Stefani, Missy Elliott, Sierra Swiss.
Well, yeah, I mean Gwen Stefani, Lady Gaga. But the thing is with Gwen Stefani, the question was, do I like No Doubt? And I do like the band No Doubt. They aren't in my collection, but I know the band. I like the band. They were all over, MTV. What we had up here in Canada was Much Music in the 90s. Just a Girl was a big hit for them. And I forget, Can't Fly or whatever it was called. But, yeah, it's okay. But I never invested in No Doubt as a band that I personally bought. But I like the stuff. I'll listen on the radio. I like Lady Gaga, but I don't own any of her stuff either.
Are you like a lyric person, or are you more of the instrumentals? More into the instrumentals?
I'm more Dick Clark. Dick Clark used to be an old timey DJ. Had his TV show called American Bandstand, Philadelphia, PA, and people go, "It's got a good beat, Dick, and I can dance to it." That's what the kids were about. A good lyric does move me, though, and it can move me to tears very powerfully. A good lyric, but what attracts me? I mean, there's music approaches. Music impacts us on so many different levels. So sometimes I want to blast away the clouds with loud guitar and big drums, rock and roll. But sometimes I like more nuanced stuff. I love Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan can reduce me to tears, not because he sings like crap. I don't think he does. I think he sounds great. I've seen Bob Dylan a couple of times too.
In person, live?
The lyrical content is absolutely sublime.
You've seen Bob Dylan live and enjoyed it?
Yes.
Because my dad has seen Bob Dylan live several times and says, it's hard to understand his words on record. It's impossible to understand what he's saying in person. Like, everything about the government. Pavement.
You got to get Garrett doing his Bob Dylan impersonation. The thing with Dylan, though, is sometimes he wants to be contrary with the lyrics. He doesn't want you to know what he's saying. And so he speaks without people being able to understand. And he's got his own reasons for that. I've seen him twice, but Dylan is famous for being kind of an act that you can get him where he's good and you can get him where he's really bad. And it varies. It's the luck of the draw.
Well, then I guess my dad has only gotten him on really bad nights because my dad is consistently disappointed.
Yeah, other people have the same thing. I've got like a lot of Dylan. I got about 120 Bob Dylan albums in the collection, both on CD and vinyl.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. He has just so many songs. It's hard. Like when you see him in person, you might like, 20 of his songs, but then he could play 40 other songs, only hit on one of them. He just has such a wide array of songs. So, yeah. I need to get ready for bed soon, but this has been such a lovely conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, everybody, the channel link for Rachel's Ghost is pinned to the top. So make sure you go over and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And please give this channel a like. I would really appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a lovely night, including you, Rachel. So
I appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun talking to you. And to my trolls, get a life, man. Thanks, everybody. And that's my lovely Sue there, Sue Williams, right? Lauren is up so early. Lauren, have a great show tomorrow. And you come on my show anytime you want. And anybody that found me moderately interesting, you're welcome to come by my show. I'm there with a cast of characters, and they're good people and very knowledgeable. Many of them more knowledgeable than I am in their own areas of expertise. So.
Absolutely. Well, have a good night, everyone.